Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to episode 7 of my dream garage build. We are about to start what I think is week 8. It's very easy to lose count on these things, but in the last episode we finished the roof. But it's been a few days since I finished filming that episode and so much has changed. But there's a few really important things I want to update you on in this episode. And this week, I think, is going to be quite transformational. Lots and lots of cool stuff is about to happen. Okay, first up in this episode, I've had quite a few people reach out and ask, how am I going to connect the garage to the internet? Now, we're quite a rural location here, and up until a couple of weeks ago, we were on copper-based broadband, very poor. I think it was about 35 meg download, about 3 meg upload. But a few weeks ago, we had fiber all the way to the house, and that's dramatically increased my internet connection speed. I'm now at about 500 meg down and about 80 meg up. And the plan is to connect the barn to the house physically by cable. And actually, we've already started the work. So first up, Sean, our electrician, has already wired the garage. So that is a cable reel of Cat6 Ethernet cable. Now that can do up to 10 gigabit per second connections up to a distance of about 100 meters. That is the limit with Ethernet. And that's fine because the distance between the garage and where the actual wireless router is, which is up by the front door up that way, is less than 100 meters. So that's nice and easy. And then we've got some duct work that's just here. And the plan, maybe this week or next week, is to bury that duct work as soon as we start digging for the drains. Now, quite usefully, this cover here is actually our drain cover for all of the soil waste, so that goes off to our local sewage plant that we have on site here. So when they start digging for the drains, we will lay this duct work, and that will connect, or we'll use this reel of Ethernet cable to connect the garage to the house. And then what I'm going to then do is upstairs, I'll show you in a moment, I've got a little a switch, an Ethernet switch with a number of RJ45 connectors that I can plug stuff in hardwired. One of those things will be a wireless router to provide Wi-Fi within the barn, but I can also connect stuff by a wire as well. So that is how I'm connecting to the internet. Now, it's got to be said, not a huge amount has happened in here, not visibly anyway. There's lots of work been done, but it's not really changed a great deal. We've got our plasterboard lining in. We're ready for the plasterers, which the plasterers should be on site this week. But the really big thing we've got to do this week is work out exactly how we're going to do the garage doors. And hopefully I'll be able to fill you in later on in this episode about our plans for the garage doors. We've got barn-style doors, and ultimately we want to automate them as well. But what we really need to do is get those doors on as quickly as we can, so that then the plasterers can come in and start plastering all the ceiling and the walls in here. So not a huge amount to happen down here. We've got a huge load of Celotex, all of this insulation here. It's the really thick stuff. This is going to be going upstairs between the rafters to insulate upstairs. And then if we walk through our new doorway in here, I guess the big thing that we've got in here in the kitchen is we've now got the floorboards in place, and also the guys have started to mark up the stairs. So we've got this post here, which is just being plasterboarded, but the stairs, we're going to have, I think, 3 flights of stairs there, then a turn, then another set of stairs there, and then another turn that way. So they're all measured up, and we've ordered the stairs, so they hopefully will be here soon, because at the moment, to go upstairs, we're still having to use a good old ladder. Now, a lot has happened upstairs. I think last time in the last episode, we just had some of the stud walls in place. The first big thing at this end of the barn is we've now got the storage unit, the storage cupboard in place with a stud wall. Let me just show you that. So we've basically put a stud wall in place just here, and we've got a doorway that's going to have a couple of really nice timber doors on them. And then in here, this is much needed storage this way and this way. Because we live in single-storey barn, one of our big challenges in the barn is storage. We have a small loft above the family bathroom, but we don't really have anywhere else to store stuff. And I'm a bit of a hoarder, unfortunately, so that is going to make a massive difference to just the way we live in the house, if you like. What we have also decided is along this side here, we had originally thought of running a set of cupboards along there. We've decided against that now. We're not going to do that. That's just going to be left as it is. But what that means is we've now got a really good picture, I think, of what this gym space is going to look like. All of the key light windows are in, so we've got lots of nice light in here, and I think it's going to be a really cool gym space. I'm trying to now work out where the various bits of equipment are. I'll cover what I'm having in here in another episode, I think, but that certainly looks like a really cool place to put my bike on a turbo trainer, and maybe that looks like a really cool place to put a running machine, but we will see. Now, you may well notice on the floor we have some beautiful green oak, because one of the things we have done is we've put in our beams that I said we wanted to try and retain some of the character. The original plan with these cross beams, we really wanted to use some of the original roof material, some of the big timbers that we took out of the roof, but they just weren't in a condition that we could do that. They had some woodworm in them and they just weren't really able to do that. So we've got these timbers in here. They were only put in, literally, I'm talking to you on Sunday night. These were put in on Friday afternoon, so they're just tacked in place at the moment. So we've got two beams in the gym, one there and just and one there. And then if we come through into my office space, we've also got one in the office space. And I think once the roof, once we've got all the Celotex in between the roof rafters and we've got that plasterboarded and painted white, I think they're going to look absolutely fantastic. We've still got a little bit of timber left over, so what we're going to do with these is we'll probably put a central piece up from the middle of the beam up to the crank beam, and then we're going to use some of the green oak in here, because this is now the bathroom, which has taken shape really nicely. We've got some plasterboarding in here, so if we walk in here, this is going to be the shower. So we've got a shower tray going in this week. This is the waterproof plasterboard, and we're going to be tiling that very soon. The plan is for the shower to be on this wall just here, and then on this wall we're going to have a little inlet in there for, you know, your shower gels and that type of thing. And then we're going to use some of the green oak to put some shelving in just there. Wash hand basin underneath the main key light window, and then the toilet just there. So that's super, super exciting. So the bathroom is taking shape really, really nicely. And then that's pretty much for now up here. Let me just quickly show you in here. I think I've got some Celotex board in here. So this is where my office is going to be. We're actually going to make a bespoke desk that sits in here. But these, the kind of first fix electrics, that point just there, these are the termination points for the Cat 5 cabling. So I'm going to end up having basically a little switch here where I can plug stuff in hardwired, including a wireless router. So they'll terminate there, and basically underneath my desk, I'm going to have lots and lots of power points. So yeah, really, really cool. I still think my favorite view so far up here is that one just there, looking across the balcony over into the gym space. It's really coming on. Well, it is a bright and beautiful morning here in West Sussex, but something very cool happened yesterday. Sadly, I wasn't here to capture it, but the scaffolding came down yesterday, and just take a look at the barn now. You can see it in all its glory. Really get a good view of the front aspect and all the, it's the scale, I think. It just, now the scaffolding's gone, it just looks a bigger, more imposing building, but it just looks magnificent, upright and square and true, and the roof just looks brilliant. So loads and loads of things to go on today. Now, I will be talking maybe either later in this episode or in the next one about what's happening to the front of the barn. We've got obviously two garage doors, one going in there and one going in there. And then where that Celotex is, because we've had lots of rain recently, we've also had to think about what's going on there. So it's a door, a little light, and then lots of wooden cladding. And hopefully we'll start to see that going on. Now that the scaffolding's disappeared, we can start to have a look at that. Now, it's been a busy week this week, but today the weather has been atrocious, chucking it down with rain all day. But that's a good test to see how watertight the building is. And happy to report so far, fingers crossed, no puddles. Now, the very time-consuming and thankless task that the boys have been on this week is insulating up here. Celotexing. I'm going to spin the camera around. This insulation sheeting that's going in between the joists up in the roof, and it goes everywhere. It's all inside the storeroom just in here, and all throughout the barn, and it's pretty much finished now. There are a couple of bits left to do inside the bathroom up there. Look, they'll get finished off tomorrow, but everything else is done. And what that means is we'll be able to start putting the plasterboard on in preparation for the plasterers to come. The only thing that we'll do is up in that void space, so there'll be a flat sheet of plasterboard that comes along the bottom of those joists there, but above that will be the normal kind of rock wool insulation rather than the boarding. So that will start to go in, I guess, tomorrow. And then a couple of other things that we've done which are interesting. So we saw the fake green oak beams going in. We've finished those off now with the centerpieces just there. So we've got one just there, and then one in my office. And I think once the roof is plastered in, they'll really stand out and pop. And what we wanted to do is try and work out the main steel crank beam that comes down. We wanted to try and make that a feature. Now, it's been covered in this pink plasterboard. That's fire retardant plasterboard. That's based on building regs because it's covering a piece of steel. And what we've done is we've taken some leftover green oak and we've had it cut at the local timber mill, and that will cover that main crank beam. So what we'll find is that this wall here will be plastered either side, and then that main bit down there will be clad in oak. And also we've got slithers of oak that are going to go down there and also go down there as well. So when you look at this, the apex from here, you'll see that that's a nice kind of rustic look to try and keep some character in the building. And then the other thing we've got lots of decisions around the bathroom, because one of the challenges we have in the bathroom is it's quite a challenging space. It's not that big. So a couple of things that have happened. First off, in terms of the shower. So the shower tray has been put in today. That's what this plywood here is, to stop people walking on it while it goes off. We've got a little recess there where we can put sort of shower gels and things, and it's got wiring there, so we'll have some lights above for lighting. And then there was a really big recess here, and we put that ply in to turn it into basically two cupboards. In the bathroom side, we'll have the units coming down here, and then we'll have a small set of shelves there to, you know, carry the normal stuff you'd find in a bathroom, you know, candles and shower gel and that kind of stuff. And then round here, we've got a little cupboard here. We're not exactly sure what this is going to be like. At the moment, it's got a big piece of Celotex in it. We're going to have shelves in there, and the big challenge is we don't know whether we're going to have that open or whether we're going to have some doors on it. The challenge with doors on it is the doors will open this way, and my expectation is, I think the more we now see this space is gym equipment wise, this run here, I envisage 3 bits of gym equipment here, my bike on a turbo trainer, a running machine, and hopefully a rowing machine. They'll go there. Then probably here we'll have a bit of equipment that we can do pull-ups and chin-ups and knee raises and that kind of stuff. And then over here, a floor mat with a weight rack where we can do stretching and weights and those types of things. So that's the kind of layout of the gym, although I'm still very, very much thinking about how that works. If any of you are in that space, by the way, then please let me know. Reach out if anyone's in the gym equipment or personal trainer. I'm going to be having a chat with my personal trainer James to get his view on what equipment we should have. But that's, I don't know, we're a few weeks away from having to make those decisions. But yeah, upstairs looking really, really cool. So tomorrow we start to board up this Celotex and then we'll start to see a really good view, I think, of what it's going to look like up here. But super, super exciting. Now it's actually the weekend and believe it or not, I'm about to go out on my bike. I've been out for a bike ride for a long time. But Matt, who's the joiner chippy that's been working on this build and is responsible for lots of the loveliness, is on site today and he's doing something that I mentioned earlier on in this video, cladding the end of the crank beam. Now, I've shown you these bits of green oak that we've used here, and we've taken a spare bit of the green oak and we got the local sawmill just to cut them down into planks. And then what Matt's been doing this morning is he's then clad the crank beam in oak. And it's just, I'm so gutted that I didn't get to show you the workings there. It's basically 3 bits of oak with a mitre joint just there, but you'd never see it from here. It just looks like that is a wooden beam. Now, I know it's a bit of decoration because if you follow the crank beam down there, it's just got that fireproof plasterboard on there. And then what he's now doing is now we've got that in place, these 2 pieces down here, we're gonna clad with oak as well, so that when you stand back, that's gonna look absolutely awesome once all of the plasterboard is on. But I just think that has come up so beautifully. Really, really cool. Another delivery of plasterboard. A lot's been happening upstairs. It is 3 days later. These guys have been grafting in some of the hottest temperatures we've seen this year, and we've gone through an immense amount of plasterboard. So let's go and have a look upstairs and see where all this is going. So I've headed upstairs and I actually waited a few hours until the boys had gone home because I wanted to show you what the fully plasterboarded upstairs looks like. It's just, oh wow, are you ready? So there is my office where my desk's gonna go. We've now got the stud walling in. Downstairs, all of that is plasterboarded. We've got the frame for the door arrived today, but that's going to be in the next episode. And then we spin around this way and we've got the door frame in. You can't see the goalposts anymore. You start to get a real sense of what my office is going to look like. Very, very exciting. And then if we walk through into the gym, we can now see in its magnificence. You can see these beams, they pop now. They've been plasterboarded, all the Celotex is hidden, and all that's left, you can just see those fantastic beams, that beam that Matt's done. I think that's fantastic with those hips down there, looks really lovely. And then the cupboard, the stud wall's been completed and plasterboarded in as well. So we get a real sense of our storage cupboard now in here, which is really, really smart. When you come around here and you can just see the little recessed cupboard we talked about earlier on. Really exciting. So tomorrow it all starts. They're going to start plasterboarding, and we've got this trestle in here because it's so high. They're going to start up here, but it's a big old job. And talking to the team, there's going to have to be 4 plasterers do this in one go. It's not, you just can't do a bit of it and then carry on. It's all got to be, once it's started, it's just got to be done in one hit. So I think tomorrow they're just going to curve off some of the corners. They're going to put some more of this lining tape here between the corners of the plaster board. By the way, I think we worked out we've had over 130 sheets of plasterboard. Each sheet of plasterboard weighs 25 kilos. So I reckon there's a good 2.5 tons of plasterboard in this building. No wonder we put such a big crank beam in it. But yeah, so I think I'm going to finish off this video watching the guys plaster. And then the next episode, lots of exciting stuff's happening downstairs. We're basically going to start closing up the front of the house or the front of the barn, and also putting the doors in. But that's the next episode. We're going to finish off this episode with some plastering. So I think we're now beginning of week 9, I think, and the boys are getting ready for the big day tomorrow. We're just curving off the edge at the top of the ceiling here. It's quite a skill. I'm not going to big him up too much, but you watch a decent plasterer at work, it makes it look so easy, and it's just so not. So just curve that off, and then tomorrow we've got, I think, 4 guys in here hitting it in one go from this end all the way through, and I'm going to try and capture that. I might even set up a GoPro on time lapse, you never know. But yeah, it's getting there. Really, really exciting. All of this prep here between all the cracks has been done. All of the little metal edge pieces that the plaster goes up to, that's all been done. It's going to be proper. Can't wait to see it finished. Plastering started. All of this is going to be covered in pink by the end of the day. But they're going to remove the ladders, so I'm not going to be able to stay and watch too much. But yeah, these boys, hell of a day ahead. Good luck, Paul. We're all counting on you, mate. Yeah, it's a big day today. By magic, it's done. Well, nearly done. The bulk of it is done, and honestly, the finish is silky smooth. We're just delighted with it. You can start to see it's actually a couple of days since they did the top roof, and some of the plaster's quite wet, but the original stuff that was put on a few days ago is now starting to dry really, really nicely. The curve up there just looks brilliant, and they're just little things like the way these beams stand out. You can see the curved detail at the top. I just think these beams look magnificent now it's been plastered. So yeah, truly, truly chuffed to bits. I'm going to draw this video to a close because it's longer than I'd planned already. There's still some work to be done up here at my office, all the balustrading, and then downstairs in the kitchen and downstairs in the garage. But that's it. That is the end of this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Just a massive shout out to all the team that continue to we're just so chuffed. That just impress us every day with their workmanship and their dedication to getting it right. This building is going to be a true credit to all the people that have worked on it. But put in the comments what you think of this one. But yes, now the next episode is all about garage doors and the front. I've actually already started filming it, but the front of the barn is going to start changing significantly over the next few days. Anyway, if you've enjoyed that, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. And I'll see you on the next film. You take care, guys. Drive safe.